everyone, this is Rotech company's question from performance management. I have just copy pasted this question from the book. You can please take some time and read it. So let's start with part A, which is asking us to calculate all these three ratios which are required. So let me just start with W company and C company. With A part, we have W company over here as two divisions, C company. W company, we have written ROCE first, and for ROCE we need to ROCE we need operating profit, and operating profit is 6,000. It has two divisions basically. It has design division and gearbox division, so I'm calculating this for design and then we'll calculate for gearbox as well. So 6,000 which is my operating profit, and the capital employed is 23540. The operating profit for gearbox division is 3875, and it's through 32320. C company, for C company the operating profit is 7010, and the capital employed is 82975. So the ROCE would be 6,000 divided by 23540, that is 25.48. 3875 upon 32320 is equal to into 100, that is 11.98%, and 7010 divided by 82975 into 100, that is 8.45%. Second ratio which needs to be calculated is asset turnover ratio, and for this we need sales. So sales is 14,300 for design division, and capital employed is 23540, and this will be calculated in times, on the basis of time. So for this the sales is 25535, 25535 upon 32320, and sales for C division is 801. Sales for C division is 15,560. 15,560 upon 82975. So let us calculate it, this is very simple, not much. 0.61 times, then 25535 upon 32320 is equal to 0.79 times, and then 15560 upon 82975 is equal to 0.19 times. Okay, this is asset turnover ratio. Now we have operating profit ratio. Operating profit ratio is operating profit upon sales. Okay, so operating profit is 6,385 and 7010 upon sales 14,300. This is calculated in terms of percentage. So we'll write the answer in percentage. 6,000 divided by 14,300 into 100, that is 42%. 3875 upon 25535 is equal to 100, that is 15.17 or 18, you can say, or I can write this as 41.96%. and 7010 upon 1560 is equal to 45.05%. Okay, so now okay, so let's read the explanation further. Both the companies and both the divisions within W company are clearly profitable in terms of what the different ratios tell us. ROCE tells us the return which a company is making from the capital. Design division W company is making the highest return at over 25% more than twice that of gearbox division and nearly 3 times of C company. This is because the nature of the design business is such that profit are largely derived from people making the design rather than from the assets. So certain assets will obviously be necessary in order to produce the design, but it is the employees who are mostly responsible for generating the profit. So gearbox division and C company's ROCE are fairly similar compared to the design division, although when the company comparing the two in isolation, the gearbox division ROCE is actually over 3 percentage points higher than C company. And this is because C company has a substantially large asset base than gearbox division from the asset turnover ratio. It can be seen that gearbox division assets generate a very high proportion of sales per dollar of asset compared to C company. This is partly because of gearbox division buys its component in form of C company and therefore does not need to have the large asset base which C company has in order to make the components. When the unit profitability of those sales is considered by looking at the operating profit margin, C company's unit profitability is much higher than gearbox division. So the design division, like the gearbox division, is also using the asset well to generate sales, but then C company, its unit profitability is high too. This is why when the two ratios are combined to make ROCE, the design comes out top overall because it has both high unit profitability and generates sales at a high level compared to its asset base. So it should be noted that any comparison between such different types of businesses are of limited use. It would be more useful to have prior year figures for comparison and or industry average for similar businesses. This would make the performance review much more meaningful. Okay, then let's jump on to B part. Let's take a while for reading it. So in B part, it's basically saying that the division which is transferring its units to another division, which is the division. So C company has always charged the same price to gearbox division as it does to its external customers. So basically in this, C company is actually transferring to the gearbox division. So what we need to do is we need to calculate the transfer price over here. But in this situation, it is asking us that we need to C company basically needs to concentrate more on internal sales rather than external sales, because over here we can see that there are external sales as well as internal sales. So by this question we get to know that the question is asking us to reduce the external sales, the extent to which the external sales should be reduced and internal sales should be increased. So, and what should be the transfer price? So for this we can say that in B part I can say it has already said that currently it satisfies 60% of the external sales. So total external sales, if I need to calculate, how will I do that? The external sales were 8010, and I would just calculate it by multiplying it by 100 and dividing by 60. So 8010 into 100 divided by 60, and that's 13350. Okay, now when we calculate the transfer price based on the opportunity cost method, we calculated by marginal cost of internal sales, right? This is marginal cost of internal sales plus the contribution sacrificed or foregone of the external sales, because it is the external sales which will have to be reduced. So how much contribution was it given that will be needed to be sacrificed in order to generate higher internal sales? So first of all, let's concentrate on the marginal cost of the internal sales. We have been given that the internal sales are internal sales are 7550, right? So it is 7550, and the marginal cost is 40%, right? Variable cost is 40%. So I will just take out 40% of it, and that is 3020. Now how much contribution sacrificed for the external sales, right? So for that, currently I can see that the total external sales which C division could have made is 13350, and if I reduce 8010, which is the current external sales, so that means we are left with whatever amount will be left, and into 60%, which is the this is 40% variable cost, so the contribution would be 60%, and that's why it will be 13350 minus 8010, that is 53. So 5340 is the external sales which needs to be sacrificed in order to satisfy the internal sales. And how much contribution will this was this external sales supposed to give? 60. We'll calculate 60% of it. This is 3204. So the transfer pricing over here is 3020 plus 3204, that is, it is giving us 3020 6224. So this is the minimum price, but what is the highest price? Now it is saying that however, being offered 5% lower for the similar components, 5% lower for the similar components. So what do we mean by 5% similar, 5% 5% lower for the similar components from an external supplier. So currently the internal sales revenue, so the current internal sales are at 7550, right? So if the current internal sales are at 7550 and it is saying that there is an external supplier which is providing the similar components at a lower price of 5%, right? So a lower price of 5% means that I will have to, so the external suppliers price would be 7550, 95% of it, and this is in million. Actually these figures are converted into millions, so it's 7172.5, right? So all these transfer prices, we can say that the transfer price can be within the range of within the range of 6224 and 7172.5.